Like most 3D modeling software, the Rhino modeling environment uses Cartesian coordinates to locate points and geometry within three-dimensional space. If we look at just the two-dimensional coordinates, we have positive x values and positive y values. So where this x-axis and where the y-axis meet is the origin. So the values for this are 0, 0, and it's also where the z-axis meets, which is the third 0. So if we look at these other points on this plane, we can start to see that some have positive values, 9 units in the x direction and 6 units in the y direction. And we also have negative x values and negative y values. So if we look at this point P3 here, we can see that we have a point located at minus 7 in the x and minus 4 in the y with the z value of 0. So when we include the z direction and look at this point in this diagram within the 3D modeling space, we could see that it has a value of 4 units in the x direction, 3 units in the y direction, and 5 units in the z direction. So going back to my Rhino interface, I'm going to just double click on the top viewport, and this will just expand this viewport so that I can have a larger area to work in. And we're going to be drafting two-dimensionally, so this is a two-dimensional view. I can see my x-axis in red and y-axis in green, and I'm going to just create some points and lines and polylines. So if I click on single point, you can see that we can just kind of click to place a single point on the XYZ plane. I also have a couple of things set here. I have my grid snap turned on, and I'm going to turn on ortho and object snap. So if we go to create a line segment, I'm going to just right click on this to create a line segment, and I'm going to create a square going back to the origin. And you can see that these are all now individual line segments when I click on these. If I do the same thing with a polyline instead of line segments, and I'll follow the same kind of sequence, when I go back to close this, now I'm going to have one object, one polyline that is a series of connected line segments joined together. I'm going to go ahead and create some other polygons. So if I click on this polygon tool here, you can see that I have an option to control the number of sides of the polygons. So right now it's set to 6. So I'm going to create this hexagonal shape. If I wanted to change that, I could click on the number of sides option and just type in the number of sides that I want for this polygon. So I'm going to make this a pentagon with 5 sides. And create this shape. So these are some different ways of just creating line segments, polylines, and other types of polygon shapes.